In the remote taiga, behind a distant village, there stood an abandoned mansion. Legends tormented the locals, for even the bravest did not dare to enter its soul-chilling premises. Once, when visiting these parts, the young groom Jake heard about this place and made a fearful promise to his friends to spend his wedding night in this mansion with his bride, Emma. His friends smirked, but Jake was stubborn. He wanted to appease the frightful spirits that, as he believed, haunted the estate. The wedding was bright, but many noticed a nightmare in the eyes of the bride, as if she did not want to spend the night in the abandoned place. But the man was persistent, and despite resistance, he took his bride on their honeymoon, including the dreadful place. After Jake and Emma entered the abandoned mansion, they felt the air fill with tension. Emma trembled, unable to hide her fear. The muffled sounds of the surrounding taiga penetrated through the broken windows and cracked walls, creating trembling echoes that made her heart beat much faster. Emma couldn't understand why Jake insisted on spending the wedding night here, in this dark place. But his stubbornness was undeniable, and he continued to drag her further into the mansion, as if imposing his will on the building itself. The further they advanced, the stronger the ghost of the past felt, as if every step reminded them of the hopelessness and hatred embedded in the stone walls of this place. And then, when midnight flung open its black curtains, the sounds suddenly began to ominously intensify. First, a quiet, but mysteriously compelling rumble came through the walls, as if the turmoil was raging inside the mansion itself. Then this rumble subsided, the cracks of silence were replaced by a faint but distinct creak, as if something inside the building had awakened and was now coming out to evoke terror. At that moment, Jake disappeared. He simply dissolved into the air, as if he had never been. Emma screamed his name, but received only echoes of silence as a response. Desperately clinging to her prayers, she ran through the rooms, but as if an invisible hand hindered her escape, as if unseen threads pulled her back to the center of this nightmarish place. Resembling an unnamed wild bird in a cage, Emma stood in the darkness, listening to the hum that filled the surrounding space. She heard whispers, a subtle sound that slightly broke the silence each time, approaching her as if something alien that wanted to take her somewhere where there is no light. Through tears and fear, Emma summoned the last drop of strength in herself. She rushed to run, circled every corner, hoping to find an exit. But there was no way out. Nowhere. Only walls, half destroyed and vanishing before her eyes, as if sandy exhalations, but pining after their malicious master. Finally, she heard Jake's cry. Desperate, dreadful cry, which brought her a terrible revelation, a straw to which she now clung. But when she saw him in a blinding radiance, her heart pounded with fright. He was transparent, his dreadful contortions in horror and helplessness, a true picture of a dead shadow. Now Emma is in a different world. She wanders in this abandoned mansion, forever lost in the fatal thickening of time, where hope has passed into nothingness, and life has become a shadow of itself. Jake left her, leaving her in this endless nightmare, but the ghosts of the past, like parasites drowning in their desires, carry her fragile soul, camouflaged in the tangled fabric of time. Locals believe that her soul still wanders, creaking weightlessly in the abandoned mansion. They tell the story of this gloomy woman, whose face is marked by a frenzied, mournful gaze on the lost southern slope, and she continues to seek what has forever eluded her. And Jake will forever remain imprisoned in himself, with his eternal torments residing in his abode, tormenting him forever, for he inadvertently brought unimaginable evil upon his beloved.